Maya Collins sat at her station on the bridge of the USS Phoenix, her small hands moving quickly over the control panel. She was only 5 feet tall, the shortest person on the entire ship. The other crew members had to look down to talk to her. Sometimes they forgot she was even there. The Phoenix was traveling through space to meet with alien leaders. At a big space station called Crossroads Prime, Maya's job was to handle all the talking between different ships and stations. She was good at languages and could speak to many different alien races. Captain John Blake walked over to her station. He was a tall man with gray hair and kind eyes. "Maya, are you ready for the meeting tomorrow?" he asked. "Yes, sir," Maya said, in her quiet voice. "I have studied all the alien languages we will need. The Vorthans speak in low growls. The Nexari make sounds like singing crystals. The Kethver click and buzz when they talk." Blake nodded. "Good work as always. I know this meeting is important. The aliens still think humans are weak and stupid. We need to show them they are wrong." Maya had heard this many times before. Ever since humans joined the Galactic Alliance 3 years ago, the other races looked down on them. They thought humans were just babies compared to their ancient civilizations. The Vorthans had been flying through space for thousands of years. The Nexari were made of living crystal and lived forever. The Kethver were like giant bugs that could survive in any environment. To these powerful aliens, humans seemed small and weak. And Maya, being the smallest human they ever saw, got the worst treatment of all. The Phoenix arrived at Crossroads Prime the next morning. The space station was huge, bigger than most cities on Earth. Ships from dozens of different worlds were docked there. Maya could see the sleek Vorthan warships, the glowing Nexari crystal vessels, and the dark insect-like ships of the Kethver. Captain Blake led his team to the meeting room. Maya walked beside Chief Engineer Lisa Park and Security Chief Danny Ross. Both of them were much taller than Maya and tried to stay close to protect her from the aliens, who might try to hurt her. The meeting room was filled with creatures from across the galaxy. Maya had to crane her neck to see most of them. The Vorthans looked like giant lizards that walked on 2 legs. They had sharp teeth and yellow eyes that seemed to glow. The Nexari were tall beings made of blue and purple crystal that sparkled in the light. The Kethver looked like huge ants with 4 arms and black eyes that never seemed to blink. Commander Zeekther was the leader of the Vorthan group. He was bigger than the other Vorthans, with dark green scales and scars across his face. When he saw the human team enter, he made a sound like laughing. "Look what the humans brought," Zeekther said in his deep, growling voice. "They bring children to important meetings. How do they expect us to take them seriously?" His yellow eyes looked right at Maya. "What is this tiny thing? Is it some kind of pet?" The other aliens began to make their own sounds of amusement. The Nexari's crystal bodies rang like bells when they laughed. The Kethver clicked their mandibles together rapidly. Captain Blake stepped forward. "This is Lieutenant Maya Collins, our communications officer. She speaks your languages better than most of your own people." "A small female handles your communications?" asked Shard Singer Kyla, the Nexari representative. Her voice sounded like music, but there was mockery in it. "How primitive. In our society, such simple tasks are handled by our youngest crystal spawn." Maya felt her face grow hot with embarrassment, but she kept her expression calm. She had learned long ago not to show emotion when aliens insulted her. The meeting began with discussions about trade routes and territorial boundaries. The aliens spoke as if humans barely mattered. They made plans that would hurt human colonies and acted like the humans should be grateful for whatever scraps they were given. "The human sectors are small and unimportant," said Hive Master Thekanor. "Of the Kethver, they should be happy with what they have. They reproduce too quickly anyway. Perhaps limiting their expansion would be good for the galaxy." Danny Ross started to stand up, his face red with anger. But Captain Blake put a hand on his shoulder to keep him seated. The insults continued for hours. The aliens questioned every human proposal and rejected most of their requests. They treated the human delegation like annoying children who had wandered into an adult conversation. "Your species is weak," Commander Zeekthur said directly to Captain Blake. "You have no natural weapons. Your bodies are soft and break easily. You live for only a few decades. Why should ancient races like ours listen to you? We may be young as a species," Blake replied, "but we have proven ourselves capable. We have built great cities and traveled to the stars. With help from other races," Kala pointed out. "Your technology is borrowed and copied. You have created nothing original." The meeting was getting worse by the minute. Maya could see that. Her captain was struggling to keep his temper under control. Lisa Park was gripping her tablet so hard her knuckles were white. Danny Ross looked like he wanted to start a fight right there in the meeting room. Then Commander Zeekthur made a proposal. That changed everything. "I grow tired of this pointless talk," the Big Vorthan said. "Let us settle this matter in the traditional way. Combat trials. Single combat between champions. If your species is truly worthy of respect, prove it with strength." The room fell. Silent, Maya could hear her own heartbeat in her ears. "What are you proposing exactly?" Captain Blake asked carefully. "Each race sends one warrior," Zeekthur explained. "They fight until one cannot continue. The winner's species gains respect and better terms in our agreements. The loser accepts their place as inferior." The other aliens agreed quickly. They had seen humans fight before and were not impressed. Humans seemed slow and weak compared to the natural weapons and armor of other species. Captain Blake looked at his team. Danny Ross was the obvious choice. He was big, strong, and trained in combat. But Blake surprised everyone. "Lieutenant Collins will represent humanity," he said. Aliens burst into laughter so loud it hurt Maya's ears. Commander Zeekthur laughed so hard he had to hold his sides. "The tiny female?" he gasped between laughs. "You must be joking. She would not last 10 seconds against a real warrior." "Maya," Blake said quietly, "are you willing?" Maya looked around. The room had all the huge, dangerous aliens who were still laughing at her. She thought about all the insults she had heard today and every day since humans joined the Alliance. She thought about how they treated her people like children and her. Like a pet. "Yes, sir," she said in her small, quiet voice. "I accept the challenge." The laughter grew even louder. The combat arena was the biggest room Maya had ever seen. It was round like a bowl, with seats going up all around the edges. Thousands of aliens had come to watch what they thought would be the fastest fight in galactic history. The walls were made of clear metal so strong that even starship weapons could not break them. Maya stood in the center of the arena floor. She looked very small compared to the huge space around her. She wore simple combat clothes, black pants and a gray shirt. No armor, no weapons, just her bare hands. The arena lights made her look even smaller than usual. In the viewing area above, Captain Blake sat with his crew. Lisa Park was biting her nails. Danny Ross kept shaking his head and mumbling about how this was a terrible idea. But Blake watched. Maya with calm eyes. He knew something the others did not. Commander Zeekthur stood at the best viewing spot, surrounded by other Vorthan officers. "This will be over so quickly I might miss it if I blink," he said with a cruel smile. "The little human will learn what real strength looks like." The Nexari representatives sparkled with excitement. Their crystal bodies made musical sounds when they were happy. "We should record this," said Shard Singer Kala. "Other species will want to see how weak humans really are." The Kethver made clicking sounds that meant they were amused. "Hive Master." Thekiner rubbed his 4 hands together. "Perhaps we should make this interesting. I wager the human female will not last 30 seconds. 20 seconds, said another Kethvar. "Look how small she is. Our warrior will step on her by accident. A loud horn sounded across the arena. The first challenger entered from a large door on the opposite side. Maya's first opponent was HFY, a HFY warrior drone. He was 7 feet tall and looked like a giant black ant that walked on 2 legs. His skin was like armor, hard and shiny. His forearms ended in sharp claws that could cut through metal. Green liquid dripped from his mouth, poison that could kill most creatures in seconds. The crowd cheered as HFY entered. He raised all 4 arms in victory, even though the fight had not started yet. He looked across the arena at Maya and made a sound like laughing. To him, she looked like a snack, not an enemy. Maya did not move. She stood perfectly still and watched HFY walk toward the center of the arena. Her eyes followed every step he took. She was not looking at his scary claws or his poisonous mouth. She was watching how he moved, how he balanced his weight, where his joints bent. "Begin!" shouted the arena master. HFY charged at Maya like a wild animal. His claws were spread wide to grab her. His mouth was open, ready to bite her in half. The crowd held its breath, waiting to see the tiny human get crushed. Maya moved. She did not move fast enough to amaze anyone. She did not jump high or run quickly. She simply stepped to the side at exactly the right moment. HFY's claws grabbed nothing but air. His heavy body could not stop or turn quickly. He crashed into the arena wall with a loud bang. The crowd laughed. They thought Maya had just gotten lucky. HFY turned around, angry now. He was more careful this time. He walked slowly toward Maya, keeping all 4 arms ready to grab her from any direction. When he was close enough, he swung 1 claw at her head. Maya ducked under the claw and moved around behind him. HFY spun to follow her, but she was already moving again. She stayed just out of reach, making him turn and swing at empty air. "Stop running, coward!" HFY hissed in his clicking language. "Fight me!" But Maya was not running, she was learning. Every time HFY moved, she learned something new about how his body worked. She saw that his left leg was slightly shorter than his right. She noticed that when he swung with his upper arms, his lower arms dropped slightly. She watched the way his head moved when he tried to track her with his compound eyes. The crowd was getting bored. "Why does the insect not just step on her?" called out a Vorthan. "This is taking too long." HFY heard the crowd and became embarrassed. A mighty warrior drone should not need this long to kill one small human. He decided to end the fight quickly. He jumped high into the air, planning to land on top of Maya and crush her with his weight. This was what Maya had been waiting for. As HFY came down from above, Maya moved to exactly the right spot. When he landed, she was right beside his left leg, the shorter one that made him balance poorly. Before he could react, she struck with her fist at a specific point, just below his knee joint. HFY screamed. The sound was like metal scraping against metal. His left leg collapsed and he fell sideways, but Maya was not done. As he fell, she hit him twice more, once behind his head where his neck joined his body, and once at the base of his upper right arm. HFY hit the ground and could not get up. His left leg would not work. His right arm hung useless at his side. His head rolled back and forth, but he could not control it properly. The arena was completely silent. Maya stepped back and waited. HFY tried to stand, but his body would not obey him. The places where Maya had hit him were not bleeding or broken, but something was wrong with his nerves. He could not make his muscles work properly. "Victory to the human," announced the arena master, his voice shaking with surprise. The crowd exploded with noise. Aliens were standing up, pointing at Maya, talking rapidly in their own languages. No one had expected this. The tiny human had somehow defeated a trained HFY warrior without using any weapons. Commander Zeekther was not laughing anymore. His yellow eyes were wide with shock. "How did she do that?" he asked. "Lucky hit," said another Vorthan officer. It had to be luck, but Zeekther was not convinced. He had been a warrior for many years. He knew the difference between luck and skill. What he had just seen was not luck. "Send in Gokmar," he ordered. Gokmar was the biggest Vorthan warrior they had brought. He was 8 feet tall and weighed as much as 3 normal Vorthans. His scales were dark green and covered with old battle scars. His claws were longer than Maya's fingers. His tail was thick with muscle and could break bones. Maya stood in the center of the arena and watched Gokmar enter. She was breathing a little harder now, but she did not look tired or scared. If anything, she looked more alert than before. Gokmar looked down at her and growled. "I will not make the same mistake as the insect," he said. "I will crush you." Slowly, Maya said nothing. She just watched and waited. The arena master raised his hand. "Begin." This time, Maya did not wait for her opponent to attack first. As soon as the word was spoken, she ran straight at Gokmar. The crowd gasped. Was the human crazy? Running directly at a Vorthan warrior was suicide. But something was different about the way Maya moved now. Her steps were quicker, more precise. Her body seemed to flow like water as she ran. And her eyes had changed. They were cold and focused, like a predator looking at prey. Gokmar swung his massive claws down at the charging human. But Maya was no longer where his eyes told him she should be. She had moved at the last second, and now she was inside his reach, too close for his long arms to grab her effectively. What happened next made the entire arena fall silent again. Maya's small fist hit Gokmar in the side, just below his ribs. The big Vorthan's eyes went wide. He tried to grab her, but she hit him again in a different spot. Then again. Each hit was perfectly placed, striking points on his body that no one else even knew existed. Gokmar stumbled backward, confusion and pain on his face. How could such small hits hurt so much? Maya followed him step for step, never letting him get away, never giving him space to use his size advantage. Her hands moved like lightning, finding weak spots that other warriors did not even know they had. The crowd watched in stunned silence as the mighty Gokmar began to fall apart under Maya's assault. This was not the same small, quiet human they had been laughing at just minutes before. This was something else entirely, something dangerous. Gokmar fell to his knees with a crash that shook the entire arena floor. The mighty Vorthan warrior tried to stand, but his legs would not hold him. Maya had hit him in places that made his whole body stop working properly. He looked up at her with fear in his yellow eyes. "What are you?" he whispered. Maya stood over him, breathing calmly. Her small chest rose and fell in a steady rhythm. She was not even sweating. "I am human," she said simply. The arena was so quiet you could hear the air moving through the ventilation systems. Thousands of aliens stared down at the tiny human female who had just defeated 2 of the galaxy's finest warriors. No one was laughing now. Commander Zeekther stood up in his viewing box. His hands were shaking. "This is impossible," he said. "Humans are weak. Everyone knows this. She must be using some kind of trick or weapon we cannot see." Dr. Helen Wright, the Phoenix's doctor and scientist, stood up in the human section. She had been quiet during the whole fight, but now she spoke in a voice that carried across the arena. "There are no tricks," she called out. "What you are seeing is pure human biology in action. We evolved on a world that tried to kill us every single day. We became the greatest hunters our planet had ever seen." She walked to the edge of the viewing area so everyone could see her. "You think humans are weak because we look soft compared to your scales and armor. But you do not understand what real strength means. Our muscles are packed with more power per pound than almost any other species. Our bones are denser than yours. Our reflexes are faster." The Nexari representative Shardsinger Kala made a sound like breaking glass. "Impossible. Our records show humans are fragile creatures with short lifespans. Short lifespans that we fill with constant learning," Dr. Wright replied. We adapt faster than any species in the galaxy. We can survive in environments that would kill most of you. And when we fight, we do not just use strength. We use intelligence. In the arena, Maya walked back to the center. The arena master looked around nervously. Does any other species wish to send a champion? He asked. The aliens looked at each other uncertainly. Maya had made defeating their warriors look easy. What kind of creature could do that? Captain Blake stood up in the human section. Maya, he called down to her. Tell them who you really are. Maya nodded. She turned to face the thousands of watching aliens. When she spoke, her voice was still quiet, but somehow everyone could hear her clearly. My name is Maya Collins, she said. I am 28 years old. I have been in the Earth military for 10 years. Before I became a communications officer, I was a Special Forces soldier. The aliens listened with growing alarm. I fought in the Titan colony wars for 3 years, Maya continued. Titan is a moon with low gravity and narrow tunnels where big soldiers cannot fight effectively. So they sent small soldiers like me. We learned to kill enemies twice our size in spaces where we could barely stand up straight. She looked up at Commander Zeekther. I have killed more enemies in hand-to-hand combat than most species have members in their entire armies. I know exactly where to hit every known alien species to cause maximum damage. I have studied your anatomy, your weak points, your nervous systems. Maya began walking in a slow circle, making sure every alien in the arena could see her. You call us weak because we do not have claws or armor or poison, but we do not need those things. We have something better. We have the ability to learn and adapt. Every fight teaches us something new. Every enemy we face makes us stronger. In the viewing areas, aliens began to shift uncomfortably in their seats. Some of the smaller species were quietly moving toward the exits. On Earth, Maya said, we have a saying. The most dangerous creatures are often the smallest ones. We learned this from our own world. The tiny insects that could kill with one bite. The small snakes with deadly poison. The microscopic diseases that could wipe out entire cities. She stopped walking and looked directly up at the alien leaders. You made a mistake when you judged humans by our size and appearance. You thought we were weak because we look soft. But softness can hide great strength. You thought we were young and stupid because our civilization is new. But new does not mean inferior. It means we are still growing, still learning, still becoming more dangerous. Dr. Wright spoke again from the human section. What Maya is not telling you is that she is considered small, even by human standards. Most of our soldiers are bigger and stronger than her. Our real warriors are twice her size and 3 times as deadly. This caused a wave of panic to spread through the alien spectators. If this tiny human was their weakest fighter, what were their strongest ones like? Hive Master Thekanur of the Kethver stood up on shaking legs. How many soldiers like her do humans have? He asked in a voice that buzzed with fear. Captain Blake smiled grimly. Earth has a population of 12 billion humans. About 2 billion of them have some form of military training. Maya here represents our communications specialists, not our combat troops. The arena erupted in shocked voices. Aliens were talking rapidly in their own languages, many of them sounding frightened. Commander Zeekther tried to maintain his dignity, but his voice cracked when he spoke. This proves nothing. One lucky human against a few opponents means nothing. Then, send more, Maya said calmly. Send all your champions at once. Send 10 of them. Send 20. I will fight them all. The challenge hung in the air like a physical thing. Every alien in the arena understood what Maya was offering. She was not just willing to fight multiple opponents. She was confident she could win. Lisa Park whispered to Danny Ross in the human section. Is she serious? Can she really fight that many at once? Danny, who had worked with Maya for 2 years but never knew her real background, just stared down at his small colleague with new eyes. "I think we never really knew who Maya was," he said quietly. 3 more alien champions entered the arena together, another Vorthan, a Crystal Mexari warrior, and a second Kethver. They had decided that if they attacked Maya all at once, surely she could not defeat them all. Maya watched them approach and began to smile for the first time since the fighting started. It was not a nice smile. It was the smile of a hunter who had just seen her favorite prey walk into a trap. "Finally," she said softly, "a real challenge." The 3 champions spread out to surround her, thinking they were being clever. They did not understand that Maya had been surrounded by enemies many times before. On Titan, she had once fought her way out of a tunnel complex filled with 30 enemy soldiers. 3 aliens in an open arena was not a challenge. It was a warm dash up. Maya dropped into a fighting stance that none of the aliens recognized. It was low and balanced, designed for fighting multiple opponents in close quarters. Her hands moved in small, precise patterns as she prepared her body for combat. The aliens charged her from 3 different directions. What happened next would be talked about in alien military academies for decades to come. Maya moved like water, like wind, like death itself. She flowed between her attackers, striking with surgical precision while avoiding their clumsy attempts to grab her. Within minutes, all 3 champions were on the ground, unable to continue fighting. The arena was completely silent, except for the sound of Maya's steady breathing. She looked up at the thousands of watching aliens and spoke one final time. "Now do you understand what humans really are?" The news traveled faster than light itself. Within hours, every major alien government in the galaxy had received reports about what happened at Crossroads Prime. The small human female who had been laughed at was now the most feared individual. In Gnome space, Maya sat in her quarters aboard the USS Phoenix, cleaning her hands with a damp cloth. She had not been hurt in any of the fights, but she always cleaned her hands after combat. It was an old habit from her military days. Captain Blake knocked on her door and entered when she called. "The entire galaxy is talking about you," he said, sitting down across from her small table. "The Galactic News Network has been running the footage of your fights non-stop for 6 hours. Maya nodded but did not look up from her hands. "I figured they would. Nothing travels faster than fear. The alien governments are in complete panic," Blake continued. "The Vorthan High Command has called an emergency session. The Nexari Council is demanding to know how many more soldiers like you we have. 3 different species have already sent requests for immediate peace talks." Blake pulled out a small device and showed Maya the screen. "Look at this. It is a message from Earth Command." Maya read the message quickly. Her eyebrows went up slightly. "They want to promote me to commander and give me my own ship." "Not just any ship," Blake said with a smile. "The newest battleship in the fleet, the USS Defiant. She has the most advanced weapons and armor we have ever built. They want you to lead humanity's first independent strike force." Maya sat down her cloth and looked at her captain. "What do you think I should do?" "That is up to you," Blake said. "But I think you should know what else has been happening. The Ethon Collective has formally requested that Earth become their military protector. They are offering us exclusive trade agreements and 3-star systems in exchange for protection from other species." He showed her another message. "The Zephyrian Republic wants to hire human mercenaries to protect their colonies. They are offering to pay us more money than some planets make in a year." Maya stood up and walked to the small window in her quarters. Outside, she could see alien ships keeping a much greater distance from the Phoenix than they had before. Some of them were actually moving away when the human ship got too close. "They are afraid of us now," she said quietly. "Very afraid," Blake agreed. Commander Zeekther has been trying to contact me all day. He wants to personally apologize for insulting you and humanity. He is offering the Vorthans as our allies. Maya turned back to face Blake. What about the others? What about my crew? Lisa. Park has been getting messages from alien engineering groups. They want to learn from human technology. Danny Ross says 3 different species have offered him jobs as a military advisor. Everyone on this ship is suddenly very popular. Blake stood up and walked over to stand beside Maya at the window. But there is something else you should know. Not all the news is good. Some of the more aggressive species are talking about forming an alliance against humanity. They think we are too dangerous to be allowed to grow stronger. Maya was quiet for a long moment. How long do we have before they decide to attack us? Our intelligence says maybe 6 months, Blake replied. Maybe less. They are scared, but fear can make people do stupid things. Maya nodded. Then we need to be ready. We need to show them that attacking humans is the worst mistake they could possibly make. 3 days later, Maya stood on the bridge of the USS Phoenix as they approached Earth. The blue and white planet looked peaceful from space, but Maya knew it was full of humans who were just as dangerous as she was, maybe more dangerous. Incoming transmission from Earth Command, announced Communications Officer Ryan Clark. He had taken over Maya's duties when she was promoted. Admiral Patricia Stone appeared on the main screen. She was an older woman with gray hair and sharp eyes. Commander Collins, she said formally. Congratulations on your promotion. I have been watching the reports from Crossroads Prime. Outstanding work. Thank you, Admiral, Maya replied. I have new orders for you, Stone continued. The Galactic Security Council has invited humanity to join as a full member. Not as junior partners, but as equals. They want you to be our representative. Maya was surprised. Me? But I am just a soldier. You are the soldier who single-handedly changed how the entire galaxy sees humanity, Stone said. Your actions have given us more respect and fear than 100 diplomatic missions could have achieved. The aliens understand strength, and you have shown them ours. The transmission ended, and Maya found herself staring at the blue planet below. In just a few days, she had gone from being the smallest, most ignored person on the ship to being one of the most important humans alive. Commander, said Navigation Officer Amy Foster, we are receiving a priority message from your sister. Maya smiled for the first time in days. Put it through to my quarters. A few minutes later, Maya was looking at the face of her younger sister Emma on her personal screen. Emma was 22 and had just graduated from the Earth Military Academy. She looked excited but also nervous. Maya, Emma said happily, I saw the news reports. You are famous. Everyone at the Academy is talking about you. How are you handling it? Maya asked. Emma's smile faded a little. Well, some of the alien instructors at the Academy have been treating me differently. They keep staring at me like I might attack them. One of them actually asked if I was as dangerous as you are. Maya laughed. What did you tell them? I told them they would have to find out for themselves, Emma said with a grin. But seriously, Maya, some of them seem really scared. They are asking questions about how many humans have military training, what kind of weapons we have, how fast we can move ships around the galaxy. What kind of questions? Maya asked, becoming more serious. Emma pulled out a datapad and read from it. They want to know how many soldiers like you Earth has. They asked about our population numbers and our manufacturing capacity. One of them asked if it was true that human children learn to fight before they learn to read. Maya felt a cold chill run down her spine. Those were not the questions of beings who wanted to be friends. Those were the questions of beings who were planning for war. Emma, Maya said carefully, I want you to be very careful around the alien instructors. Do not answer their questions. Tell them you do not know anything about military secrets. Why? Emma asked. "Are we in danger?" Maya looked at her little sister's face on the screen. Emma was smart and brave, but she was also innocent. She did not understand yet how cruel the galaxy could be. "Maybe," Maya said honestly, "but do not worry. If anyone tries to hurt you or any other human, they will learn that I am not the only dangerous human in the galaxy. I am just the one they happen to meet first." Emma nodded, understanding the serious tone in her sister's voice. "Maya, are you scared?" Maya thought about the question. Was she scared? She had faced down alien warriors twice her size without fear. But the thought of her people being in danger, of her little sister being threatened, made her feel something she had not felt in years. "No," Maya said finally. "I am not scared, but they should be." After ending the call, Maya sat alone in her quarters thinking about the future. The galaxy had learned that humans were dangerous, but that knowledge would not keep them safe forever. Fear could turn into hate, and hate could turn into war. But Maya had a message for any species that might think about attacking humanity. They had only seen one human fight so far. Earth had billions more just like her, and many of them were much more dangerous than a small communications officer who used to be a soldier. The galaxy called her weak, but she was a killer. And she was not alone. Maya smiled as she looked out at the stars. Let them come, she thought. Let them all come. They would learn what it really meant to fight against humanity, the hard way.